Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again, and today we're actually doing my first ever update video in my series of Will It Run on Steam Deck. The reason I'm doing this, and it's very close to when I uploaded my first video, it's literally only been like 2 days. The reason I'm doing it this early is because I gotta hand it to Valve. I gotta hand it to Steam. They single-handedly threw out a major update for the Steam Deck in order for Dead Space to run without any issues whatsoever. And it was literally within 24 hours of the game's release. Now, if you haven't seen my original video, I have a link in the description below. Highly recommend you go check it out, even though obviously the gameplay won't be that great. I go over some good topics and some things that I really want to talk about with this game prior to actually showing the gameplay. Now with this series, if you guys are new to it, essentially I test out a brand new game or just any game on the Steam Deck and essentially just see if it runs well on the Steam Deck enough to say yes, go buy it, or stay away from it, or wait for an update. I got this game literally the minute it came out and I installed it and I played it, and as you guys saw or didn't see maybe in the original video, it did not run really at all. I was able to get past the intro of the game, I was able to walk around for a little bit, hear some dialogue, but as soon as you open up your map, the game would crash, as well as just incredibly poor performance across the board, even on low settings, and lowering the resolution by like 4 times. It was horrible, right? It was basically, I told everybody, don't buy it, just stay away until they come up with an update. And little did I know, less than 24 hours later, they did. They came up with a massive update, and I've actually been playing Dead Space on the Steam Deck since this update for the past 2 days now without any issues. As you can see, I have 16 hours of playtime on the game. I finished one entire playthrough, and I just want to show you guys exactly how it runs on the Steam Deck out of the box with no tinkering or anything whatsoever. Of course, I will go over different settings in the game settings itself on what resolution to set it to, what graphics settings, all that good stuff with this new video, and hopefully this will help you guys out, especially for any of you who are returning from my previous video already on this game. I don't necessarily know if this is going to be a reoccurring theme, if I will come back to previously already played games on this channel. If you would like me to return to games that I've already made videos on, let me know in the comment section below, like if something has been updated and now works a lot better, you know, being a year down the road or a few months or whatever. I definitely will come back to it and, you know, test that game out for you guys. So, off the bat here, I was just playing this. This is actually the way I have it set up. You can, of course, change this around to your liking, but this is what I run it on. So, in video options, I have it set to full screen, and I have it at the full native 1280 by 800 resolution with vertical sync turned off. And then in the actual graphics settings, I have the AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution set to performance mode, and I have the graphics quality on auto. Now, this has been working just fine. I have noticed a few stutters here and there in certain cutscenes and stuff like that. You will notice it probably will drop below 30 for like a second or two, but definitely not enough to where it's noticeable or at least takes you out of the experience. When you're actually in the gameplay and running around and shooting stuff, I didn't really see any dips below 30. The game runs at an average of 50 FPS, sometimes even higher, which is really recommendable to say. And I noticed that even in the auto settings, it puts most things at medium specs. So pretty awesome to see. But let's just jump into the game. I already have a save that I started earlier, just so we don't have to see the intro again. But just trust me, we get past the intro now and it works, and the game does not crash anymore when you open up the map. One more little thing I wanted to mention as well as we jump into the game here. A lot of people in my comment section, and by the way, thank you so much for everybody who commented on my previous video on this game. They did let me know they had a much better experience installing the game on their internal SSD versus an external. Now, I originally in my video had it on the external SSD, which is just a micro SD, but it hasn't had any issues whatsoever with any other game prior to Dead Space. So I didn't expect it to really be an issue, but a lot of people suggested try moving it to the regular SSD inside the machine, and wouldn't you know, it does improve the performance tenfold. So I would highly recommend, if you have enough storage available on your Steam Deck and you want to play Dead Space, definitely put it on the internal storage. So here we are, we're probably about 12, maybe 15 minutes into the game. We're just past essentially the intro. Not too far in, because I don't want huge spoilers for anybody who is looking to buy the game. But as you can see, we are getting pretty close to 50 FPS on average. Let's move into this area real quick to see if we can find any enemies. See, there's a little hiccup here and there. But again, it's something that takes me out of the experience or really is that annoying to me. I got used to it pretty quickly, and the hiccups are pretty far and in between. Nothing that is game breaking by any means. So here's an enemy right here. All right, so we were able to kill him. We'll grab that. All right. Moving on to the next area. And I also should say that we are running everything at native. I don't think I changed any settings here. So we have no frame rate limit, refresh at 60. We don't have any of these on, and I don't have any scaling filters. So this is all pretty much out of the box standard what you would get if you didn't change any settings. And you can see for yourself, like sometimes there'll be a couple hiccups here and there, like coming out of the pause menus. But for the most part, the game is 100% playable. And especially, you know, if you really wanted to, you could set this to a frame rate limit at 30. Let's see how it runs at 30. I haven't actually tested this myself. See if we get any dips below 30. I kind of doubt we will. And if we do, it'll be pretty rare.
Isaac, don't bother shooting those fuckers in the head. Doesn't even slow them down.
Okay. The only way is hacking them apart. Those arms, legs.
Does that even kill them? Or do they just stop?
The one thing I will say is setting it to 30, though, you do get a little bit of an input delay. This could be because I'm using a Bluetooth controller, but before setting that to a cap of 30, I did not have any input delay. So let's just see here. Wait for the game to render it a little bit. Yeah, now I'm not getting any delay. So I don't know if this will pick up on camera. Then we'll try a trigger. So as you can see, pretty close. Now, if I were to add that 30 frame limit, you can see the difference here. And again, it's not much, but it's noticeable. So in certain games, that will be a huge issue, but honestly for Dead Space, I don't think it's going to be that much of a notice or anything that'll hinder your gameplay too badly. But I would still recommend probably keeping the FPS cap off and just playing like this. Okay. All right, and just for fun, let's mess around with some of the settings. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the display and graphics. I'm going to leave everything at the native resolution. I don't think lowering the resolution is going to be useful in this game, mainly because with how dark this game is, and it's a beautiful game in general, right? You want to get the most detail out of it on the Steam Deck. I'm not going to lower the resolution, but what I will do is let's see if we get any better performance actually switching this to low instead of having it at auto settings. So we'll have it on low now, and let's see if we get any better performance. So actually, it's a little bit worse so far. But definitely 100% playable. Now it seems to have kicked in a little bit. Maybe it is a little better now. Yeah, it definitely seems to be fine. Definitely getting an average of 55 frames, I'd say. So this might be the ideal way to play, is on low. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's try it on medium. So straight medium. Again, performance as the FSR. And I wouldn't recommend changing the FSR. I've tried it on other settings, and I don't know why, but performance looks the best and also just runs the best in general, at least in my testing with any of the graphics quality settings. So definitely keep it on performance. So this is medium. Sometimes it does take a few seconds to kick in. So you will see it, you know, a weird drop in frames when you first change it. Now here's something funny. I switched to medium. We don't have a frame cap or anything, but I did get that delay again in the controls. So again, it's not super noticeable, but it is noticeable going from low settings to medium. So if that is going to be an issue for you, I'd recommend staying probably on low or auto for the graphics. But it is pretty awesome that it's running this well, even on medium specs. We're getting above 50. Now we're even at 60. Even going from area to area, we're not dropping below 30, which is the main thing. As long as we don't drop below 30, it will be just fine. So yeah, clearly medium works just fine. Let's try high. Why not? So set everything to high. Performance mode. Let's see what happens. Give it a second to load in. All right. Oh, that guy's not having a good day. You know what's funny is I actually have less of an input delay on high than I did on medium. That is so weird. Oh, and just if you were curious if it still crashes when you look at the map, look at that. It doesn't. You can actually move around it too. But wow. It's actually running way better than I thought on high. I haven't tested high myself, so pretty awesome. Even going into a cutscene seems to be just fine. Wow, I'm very astonished that we're getting this high of frames on high. All right, so perfectly playable at high. No issues. Obviously, the game looks great. All right, so for the last test here, let's try Ultra. Why not? Here we go. No way. Okay, a little bit of a stutter there while I started moving. Wow. This is amazing. What an update can do. I know I said in my original video with Dead Space on the Steam Deck that I knew this game could run on the Steam Deck with a few tweaking updates. But I did not expect not only for it to be fixed this fast, but to run this well at high settings. And this is Ultra. The highest you can go.
This module handy? We need one in tram maintenance stat. The autoloader's fried. I got a damaged tram car on the tracks, and if the whole system's gridlocked, guess who they're calling? Temple here, sending a status module now. What happened to the autoloader? No idea. A lot of shit's been breaking down. I keep hearing things. Down in the gear.
Wow. So that, yeah, if this isn't proof to you that this game runs on Steam Deck, I don't know what else is.
Repair systems online. Loading system reinitialized. Warning. Autoloader malfunction. Please contact a repair technician.
And there's no delay either, by the way. I don't have any delay with the controls, which is awesome. Okay. So clearly the game runs even at Ultra. But I will say one thing. Running it at highest specs that it can go, you're obviously not going to get the best performance that you could get on the Steam Deck, and you're going to be lowering your battery life significantly faster than if you had it at lower settings. And to be honest, in my personal opinion, even from right here, I don't see a big difference between running it on the auto/medium settings and ultra. I could be wrong in that. Maybe you guys can see it. I personally cannot see the difference. So if you were to ask me, I still would say leave it on performance for the FSR shading, and I would probably leave the graphics quality on auto. Because not only is this going to get you the best performance you can get on the Steam Deck, but you're also going to get the best battery life that you get with the game. With this type of a game running this hot on your Steam Deck 24/7, you're probably going to get a max of 2 hours at the most on this bad boy, sadly. But if you're next to a wall outlet, I mean, the fact that you can play the brand new Dead Space Remake on a Steam Deck for the entire game, that blows my mind. Now, I have not myself played the entire game on the Steam Deck yet, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. There might be some sections in the game as of right now that don't work properly or do, go below 30 FPS and have a few stutters here and there, but it's just something we're going to have to deal with until the game is 100% confirmed by Steam to be playable on the Steam Deck. So once you see that green check mark, that'll tell you that the game is 100% ready to go. But even at this moment today, I can 100% say it is A-okay, ready to go. Go check it out. Definitely pick it up. After doing a full playthrough on my gaming PC, this is by far one of my favorite games, honestly, ever. It's by far one of my favorite remakes ever made and one of my favorite survival horror games ever made. But it's definitely up there in the top tier games that I've ever played, just from graphically, performance-wise, with the motion capture and the voice acting, and of course the gameplay. It's just a beautiful game all in all. I could not recommend it enough. So that is it for us testing Dead Space Remake on the Steam Deck. Thank you guys so much for coming back to this update video, and I do again apologize for essentially rushing out that first video. In my opinion, I should have waited a couple days to get that video out there, but I wanted to get out there as fast as possible just to see what people thought of the game and if it ran or not on the Steam Deck at launch. So with that, leave a like to support as always, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace out. Hey guys, Nick here once again, and I just wanted to pop into the very end of the video to give a special shout out to my channel members. If you don't know what a channel member is, essentially these wonderful people are using their hard-earned money to help keep the channel alive. So that's why I want to give a huge shout out to these guys, because they're amazing. And if you want to become a member yourself, you can do it as easily just by clicking on the little join button below every single one of my uploads, or just by going to my channel. There is 4 different tiers depending on how much you would like to support each month, and you can join for as little as $2 a month. And trust me, even if it's $2, it helps a ton, and it adds up at the end of the month so that I can get more games for you guys to review or make retrospective videos on, or to buy new technology such as new computer parts, or really anything to keep the channel afloat and to make more content for you guys. So with that, thank you so much to Thrasher the Black Stallion, Vinny Severiman, Bacon Spaceman, my wife Way Lady, and Whole Healers Boat World. You guys are all amazing, and thank you so much for all the wonderful support. This channel is just growing and growing every single day, and I can't wait to see where this channel leads us. So with that, have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Peace.